Alright, let's talk about host key checking in Ansible. By default, Ansible checks SSH keys to verify connections, good for security, but a bit of a hassle for automation. Disabling it makes things smoother, but we can't ignore the risks. Thankfully, we have several ways to turn it off. Now, let's dive in and see what makes the magic happen. I'm Amelia James, a technology expert with 13 plus years of experience designing and delivering human resource management systems that actually work for people. I specialize in building scalable integrated HR platforms that streamline processes, enhance employee experience, and give leadership real-time, actionable insights. Imagine sending secret messages, but you want to make sure they reach the right person. That's what host key checking does for SSH. It ensures you're talking to the right server and not a sneaky imposter. Ansible depends on SSH for automation, but when a server's key isn't recognized, it puts up a big stop sign. Handy for security, but sometimes a bit annoying. Host key checking is basically your system's personal security guard. It stops unauthorized connections, ensures SSH communication stays safe, and prevents bad actors from sneaking in. Sounds great, right? Well, like all security measures, it adds extra steps to automation. And we all know, sometimes you just want things to run without interruptions. Now, disabling host key checking sounds convenient, but it's like leaving your front door unlocked. Anyone could walk in. Without verification, you might unknowingly connect to a malicious server, opening the door to security breaches. If you absolutely must disable it, do so wisely. We're talking automation, not an open invite to hackers. Alright, now the fun part. How do we actually disable host key checking? There are multiple ways to do it, each suited to different needs. Of course, before you go around flipping switches, think about security implications. Let's explore some effective methods. One quick way is using the SSH option strict host key checking equals no. Basically, SSH stops worrying about checking host keys and lets you connect freely. Handy, yes. Secure, not so much, so use it wisely, especially in non-production environments. Want to tell Ansible to stop bothering with host key checks? Easy, set Ansible host key checking equals false. This works well when automation is running in a controlled setting, but use caution. No one wants unintended connections sneaking in. Another method is tweaking SSH's configuration file. Set strict host key checking no in SSH config. This applies across the board, making automation seamless. But remember, security matters, so use with discretion. Finally, we can define SSH options directly in Ansible using Ansible SSH common args. This lets you fine-tune settings per playbook, avoiding blanket changes. A solid choice if you need flexibility while maintaining some security. Alright, let's start with the basics. The Ansible configuration file. Think of it as the control panel for your automation. First, you need to find the Ansible CFG file, usually hidden away like a secret recipe. Next, tweak the settings to match your needs. No pressure, just don't break production. These changes will affect how your playbooks behave, so knowing their impact is crucial. And of course, always validate your edits, because surprises are great for birthdays, not deployments. Ansible's inventory file is like the guest list for your automation party. You define the hosts and groups to make sure no one is left out. Then specify how Ansible should connect, because blindly knocking on random servers isn't ideal. Variables help tailor configurations, kind of like customizing pizza toppings. And finally, always check your syntax, because one typo, and suddenly your entire infrastructure is a mystery novel. Time to check if our changes actually work. Running Ansible version ensures Ansible isn't lost in space. Testing playbooks in a safe environment prevents us from turning our servers into abstract art. The Ansible config dump command is a lifesaver when debugging. You wouldn't drive blindfolded, so don't configure blindly. And always monitor logs. They're the breadcrumbs that reveal if your automation is smoothly sailing or quietly plotting revenge. Security isn't just for secret agents, it's vital for Ansible too. Role-based access keeps power in the right hands, no supervillains here. Encrypt sensitive data with Vault, Because leaving passwords in plain text is like writing your PIN on your credit card. Limit privilege escalation. It's about control, not chaos. And finally, version control your configurations. That way, when things go wrong, you have a time machine to sanity. Host key checking, great for security, but sometimes an obstacle in automation. Disabling it speeds up deployments when you trust your environment. In dynamic setups, it prevents mismatches that make Ansible grumpy. Automation is supposed to be hands-free, so skipping manual interventions is a win. And for temporary testing, well, you don't need the full security parade, just a quick test drive. Every tech journey has its hiccups. SSH failures. Check your keys before blaming the universe. Missing dependencies. Install them before panic mode kicks in. YAML syntax errors. Spaces versus tabs, the eternal debate. And when nothing works, check permissions. Sometimes, Ansible just wants a VIP pass to do its job. Automation isn't a one-time setup, it's a journey. Follow best practices to keep things running smoothly. Keep configurations updated, because tech evolves faster than fashion trends. Debugging tools exist for a reason, so use them before throwing your keyboard. And finally, document everything. Future you will thank you. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us.